Hey, you guys want to go see a movie? So we just got back from Kevin Smith's new movie, Tusk. And I have to say, the concept is really, really out there. If you're not familiar with the concept, Kevin Smith has a podcast, and they were reading a Craigslist ad where someone was posting that they needed a roommate, but only under the stipulation that that roommate wears a walrus costume once a week or something. So Kevin Smith ran with the idea. He was like, this is a movie. He's like, if you wanted this to be a movie, then take to Twitter and hashtag walrusyes. So Kevin Smith ran with this idea and was like, this has to be a movie, and went to Twitter and told people to hashtag walrusyes or walrusno if they want to make it into a movie. And of course, since the movie exists, walrus yes. Originally, this flick was actually really hard to find in theaters. Like, the closest theater that was playing it was like an hour away. But it seems like it's been successful enough because we were able to just see it today, and it was like right down the street. And I have to say, spoiler alert, I am going to talk about specifics about the movie, so if you don't want anything ruined for you, you might want to just skip to the end or not watch. What I really dig is that Kevin Smith is really starting to stretch his directorial legs. Or shall I say flippers. His last movie, Red State, and Tusk are both kind of horror movies, if you will. Whereas Red State is kind of more horror genre, Tusk is a little more of a dark comedy. So imagine like the Human Centipede, but with comedy and like way more dialogue. Like a lot of dialogue. Like a Kevin Smith amount of dialogue. And a shocking amount of character development. The movie stars Justin Long, who plays a podcaster named Wallace, which ironically sounds a lot like walrus. I see what you did there. And Michael Parks, who was also in Red State. He plays this really demented guy named Howard Howe, who wants to turn a human being into a walrus. It also stars Haley Joel Osment, who you might remember from The Sixth Sense. And what's crazy about seeing Haley Joel Osment is imagine like 1999 Haley Joel Osment went like missing, and they had to use like 1999 Photoshop to like add 15 years onto Haley Joel Osment. That's exactly what he looks like now. He really has not like changed how he looks. He just looks like an older version of young Haley Joel Osment. Really cool supporting cast for this movie too, including Harley from Epic Mealtime, who plays this Canadian Border Patrol officer and has like the best lines in the movie. Harley, you're funny, and I like your beard. Johnny Depp shows up and is a Canadian homicide detective. For the first few minutes when we were in the theater, we weren't quite sure it was Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp had like some of the longest scenes in the movie, almost to a point where they kind of dragged on a little bit. But if I had the opportunity to have Johnny Depp in a movie, I'd probably let him rant on too. At times through the movie, it seemed like there was almost a little too much dialogue, like unnecessary to really carry the story forward. But extensive dialogue scenes is what Kevin Smith is known for, so it really wasn't that much of a surprise. One thing that I really kind of didn't understand in the movie is it really tries to balance being like a comedy and like a darker comedy and like a horror movie. So you'd have a scene that wasn't necessarily scary, but was pretty horrific. And in the next scene, you know, there's like jokes coming in. It's really funny. So it was kind of awkward at times because you really can't pinpoint what genre this movie was. But that being said, that is kind of this movie's charm. And before we shot this review, Tiff, Mike, and I were sitting around just talking about the characters' backgrounds. The more we discussed the characters, the more we realized how much depth the movie actually has. There are a lot of flashback sequences that kind of show that Justin Long kind of changed over time once he became a famous podcaster. So it kind of takes this journey of him becoming this walrus to kind of regain his not being an asshole. Plus, there's this really kind of weird love triangle going on with Wallace Alley, which is Wallace's girlfriend, and Teddy. Not to mention Michael Parks' character, there's a lot of scenes where he has extensive dialogue that kind of gives the motivation for what he's doing. Apparently, this dude had a really shitty childhood. So much so that he's going to turn people into walruses. In summary, Tusk is actually a very interesting movie with a lot of character development and plot. It's even better if you go see the movie with friends because you can discuss afterwards how much depth there really is to the characters because you're just kind of going in expecting a horror movie. I give Tusk a 7 out of 10 beards. If you have the opportunity, you should at least see it once, as it's a very unique, different kind of take on the horror dark comedy genre. So for more further reviews, you guys keep watching RedBeard TV. How does a man become a walrus?